Hello. Good afternoon. Michael Wynn, Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. Welcome to the Digital Marketing Podcast video, where we talk about digital marketing strategies to help grow your business. I'm so glad it's Monday. It's a fresh start. You got Monday perspectives and fresh takes on how to grow your business. And over the weekend, well, actually today it was really exciting because here at the agency, we have a new crew of creative digital marketing and public relations coordinators joining us, account coordinators joining us as they signed up for our internship program. And this kicks off their semester. So I'm always excited when we have new, fresh, and exciting talent joining us in this creative army that we're amassing at Digital Ops. So today I want to talk about really steps for making this digital marketing innovation that brands really need to make right now. In order to be relevant in 2019 and 2020, you have to understand contextual, creative, and digital at scale. It's really important. Really, the success of your marketing plan depends upon it. So how can you plan for something that you don't understand or that you don't see right now, that's not literally right in front of you? And I think it's true with any innovation, where there's a desire to achieve an outcome that currently doesn't exist. And so I think it starts, number one, with defining where it is that you want to go with your marketing, and making very specific definitions. So, whether that's a numbers thing or whether it's a quality thing, really helping to define, okay, this is where we want to go. And what that means for our business is it looks like this. And again, so maybe it's an increase in number of deals, or it's increased number of customers, or it's you have to figure out what the metrics are in order to go there, or maybe you want to achieve a goal. Maybe you want to become the number one hair salon in your market, or maybe you want to be known as the most prestigious dental agency in your dental office, or outpatient therapy practice in your local market or in your region. So whatever that looks like, define what that is specifically. And then step number two is, what will it look like when you get there? Obviously we've talked about what the numbers would mean for your business and your organization, what that growth would look like. But how would that impact your process? Meaning your internal process, whether it's how you deliver your goods and services, or will it impact your processes or your procedures in providing those very specific services? Because the one thing that I have learned in nearly 30 plus years of helping businesses grow is that, number three is, it's very difficult to flip the switch and just automatically go there and just be there. It's very difficult to go from worst to first. It does take very specific maneuvering and very specific planning. If I decide, hey, I'm going to run a 30-mile marathon, that I may have all of the know-how. I mean, know how to do it, but the actual practical application and the actual execution of that means I have to have some things. I have to have stamina. I have to have, my body trained to handle the endurance. I have to be, there's all kinds of different ramifications and preparations that have to be done in order to, run a 30-mile marathon. And just because I want to do it, and I decide I'm going to do it tomorrow, doesn't mean that I'm going to step outside my door and take off and run for 30 miles. It just doesn't work, especially if I'm just used to running to the mailbox. So, yes, you absolutely have to think about what are the incremental steps in order for me to get there. Now, again, we're talking about this in the context of your digital marketing plan and execution. So I think number 4 is to apply empathy with your data and with your target audience information. This is a huge piece that marketers, we often overlook. We often look at the numbers and, you know, we assign them a value, 1 to 10 or 1 to 100 or 100 to 500 or whatever that, you know, value number is. And we often don't look at that data with empathy. And what I mean by that is, you know, I think, you know, empathy is really a collision of perspective and attitude. If you understand the attitude of your target audience, and you understand the perspective of which they look through, how they view your products and service, and their attitude, how they think and feel about your attitude, those two things, when those collide, that's empathy, right? You're literally putting yourself in their shoes and looking at and walking through how they experience your product or brand. So once you can apply empathy to the data and to your target audience information, then you can do step number 5, which is how to deploy creative to match that understanding, the insight and understanding that you will gain through empathy, through deploying empathy towards your client database or through your target audience. And then think about, okay, how are we going to roll this out platform by platform? Because you can't just have the plan and say, boom, we're going to do it on Facebook, or boom, we're going to do it on YouTube, right? You need to understand that your target audience is going to consume content the way they want to consume it. So you may have someone who doesn't watch a lot of videos but listens to a lot of podcasts, or you may have the reverse. You may have someone that watches a lot of video, doesn't listen to any podcast. So number 1 is, you know, if we understand, if we reverse engineered who they are, what's important to them, how they think and feel about your business, product, or services, right? And then how they view that product and service, right? So you have to have both lens, the emotional and the intelligence component. And once you've got that, then you're able to really put together contextual, creative, mapped to those specific behaviors and interests, and how your target audience views and will respond to your messaging as you place it in front of them, whether it's a video, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a written format. And so I think that's the other thing is people, once they get, you know, they really start to grasp, okay, I got it. I understand this is what we need to do. How are we going to do all these things at once? Well, if you absolutely can't, which you actually can, but if for whatever reason, don't be paralyzed by, oh my gosh, how are we going to do this? You know, take a bite, take bite-sized chunks out of the elephant that you want to bite, right? Which is making this change of, you know, we've been putting out this single piece of content. It's not been working. We're not seeing any change. So we're not seeing any results. So we need to make a change. So now we're ready to roll this out, and we're going to roll it out in what are we best at. So you find the person in your organization that's best, you know, whether they have the best voice or whether they come across the camera really great, you know, find that person that really connects with your consumer, with your particular members, or whatever your, you know, sort of industry represents, and roll it out and start with that. Because I guarantee you, if you'll start now in incremental, in separate channels and stages, you'll be able to build on that. And you'll be able to see some successes over the next 12 months and really move towards digital marketing innovation through these 5 steps that we've talked about. Guys, thank you so much for joining today. I hope you have a great Monday. My name is Michael Wynn. I'm the Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates, and we'll see you tomorrow.